Shalom, holy brothers and sisters. The Bible portion called Yitro is named after the father-in-law of Moses, Jethro. And in this Bible portion, the Israelites receive the Ten Commandments, and they say that they will do and they will listen to the will of God. So I want to share with you several verses and some lessons that we can learn from this week's Bible portion. The first lesson comes from Exodus chapter 18, verse 1. Vayishma Yitro, Kohen Midian, Chatan Moshe, et kol asher asa Elokim leMoshe, v'leIsrael amo. And Jethro, the priest of Midian, the father-in-law of Moses, heard all that God did for Moses and for Israel, his nation. So what's the difference between Jethro and the other nations? The other nations heard what God did for the Israelites and for Moses, and they were impressed, but it didn't move them to any action. But when Jethro heard about the splitting of the sea and with the war against Amalek, he was moved to action. It actually caused him to pick himself up and change his life. So the reason why this week's Bible portion is named after Jethro, Yitro, is because we should aspire to be like him. When we hear a piece of wisdom, we shouldn't just let it be an intellectual thing that goes in one ear and out the other. It should change our lives. We should internalize it. We should act upon wisdom that we hear and internalize those important life lessons and values. Another reason why this week's Bible portion is named after him is because Jethro saw that being the leader of so many people was exhausting for Moses, that he was the arbitrator whenever people had disputes, and instead of being with his family, he was all day long with the people because he had to make judgments and make important decisions between different people. So Jethro told Moses to appoint judges and make courts, and the judges would rule according to the laws. And so this is what was done. We learn also in this week's portion from chapter 18, verse 14 in the book of Exodus, that the father-in-law of Moses saw all that Moses did to the people, and he said, "What is this thing that you are doing to the people? Why are you sitting by yourself and the entire people standing nearby from the morning to the evening?" So what we learn from here is to use criticism only when it will be beneficial. So Jethro knew that when providing constructive criticism for Moses, that it would be beneficial because Moses would listen and he would act. So Jethro had to use his attribute of truth-seeking, and Moses realized that, of course, it was preferable to delegate authority to other people in order to increase the efficacy of the legal system. And this is from Growth Through Torah by Rabbi Zelig Pliskin. Another important lesson from this week's Bible portion is, when helping others, be careful not to burn yourself out. For the same reason, it says here in chapter 18, verse 18, "You will surely wear yourself out. Also, you and also this people who are with you, it is too difficult for you. You cannot do it by yourself." So Hillel said, "If I am not for me, who will be for me?" In other words, you have to take care of yourself first before you take care of other people. And this is seen even on airplanes when they tell you to put on your air mask before you put on a child or a dependent's air mask. If we don't take care of ourselves, we cannot take care of others. So in helping others, we must be careful also not to burn ourselves out, because that doesn't serve us and it doesn't serve them. Other lessons from this week's Bible portion come from Exodus chapter 19, verse 2, and lessons include love of others, seeing the good in other people, and also having humility as necessary traits. And from Chapter 19, verse 5, we're learning perseverance to overcome difficulties. It says that all beginnings are difficult, but that we should not give up hope and we should not quit trying. We should never tell ourselves things are so difficult that I can never accomplish, because when we keep trying, only then can we succeed. And the last lesson that I want to share from this week's Bible portion comes from Exodus chapter 20, verse 17. And it is that awareness of the Almighty will give us the positive aspect of bashfulness. Ours is an age void of God awareness and God consciousness. It is therefore a generation which knows no shame. Thus, the inherent character barrier against crime and violence is lost. Small wonder, therefore, that ours is an age of moral decay. And that's a quote by Rabbi Mordechai Gifter in his book Torah Perspectives, pages 31 to 32. This comes from the verse that says, "So that fear of the Almighty shall be impressed upon your face, so that you shall not sin." So those are a couple of things that we can learn from the Bible portion of Yitro. I hope you enjoyed it. And thank you so much for watching. God bless you. And Shabbat Shalom. Bye-bye.